So about 2 months ago, I met Matt. Came here, did a video at Bunker. That kind of ignited my thing for this podcast thing again. Thought it might actually be something like just sitting here for 10 minutes and listening to what you said and kind of just that short little time of your story, and thought that people need to be able to hear what you have to say and where you've come from.
Yep.
So you're the reason I'm doing this. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah. So introduce yourself a little bit and tell me about yourself.
All right. So I'm Matt, obviously. What I do is athletic development. Like, my business is advanced sports performance. It mainly involves athletic development and speed training. So I coach, majority of my clients are younger teenagers, up to about 18. I don't really have anyone that's older than 18. Everyone's sort of that 14 to 16 mark, and it's all kids that want to take their sports to the next level. So I've got a lot of 17-year-olds that are looking to get signed in the footy or by the end of the year, or get drafted, or heading off to America for basketball, things like that.
Yep.
And it's my job to make them more athletic as a person, make them so whether that's just strength in general or prehab, I guess you can call it. So just trying to make yourself a little bit more or less breakable. More explosive, bouncy, whatever your sport needs. Just athletic in general. And then the other side of my business is speed coaching.
Yep.
So it's probably a good 40%. So it's like 60 speed coaching, 40 in the gym. And speed coaching is literally just retraining people on how to sprint correctly. So from acceleration to top end speed mechanics, and then putting them through a program. Not always like sport specific, but putting them through a program to make them more accelerate faster or better over distances or things like that.
Yep. So that's the stuff you do down at the track.
Yeah, that's what I do down
Yeah. So what made you get into this?
Pretty much started. Well, it was sort of by fluke, really. I used to own a kickboxing gym.
Yep.
That's Muay Thai and MMA. I was in partnership with that, and that was my life, was just fighting, and I just loved it, just holding pads for everyone all day, every day. And then after a year and a half, I was just like, man, this sucks. I'm getting beaten up for a living all day.
Yeah.
I'm making like no money. I'm getting injured all the time. Like, I couldn't even focus on my own fighting. I thought having my own fight gym would be awesome. Like, I could just fight all the time, and then all my time just went to my clients.
Just switched all the other way, so you never actually got time to do it.
It was like I had 100 kids to look after now.
Yeah.
Not that they were all kids, but like it was like I had my own kids. So it just took up all my time. And then one day I was like, man, I need to get out of this. I need to think about the future, because obviously I can't do this forever. My body was just taking a toll. Like, it was just, I ended up getting diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, which was it's a spinal issue. It's just your autoimmune disease attacks your spine, and getting hit and kicked all day, every day, it was just blowing up.
Yeah. So what did that do to you? Like,
I was just getting really inflamed, and it was starting to seize up my lower back.
Yep.
It just attacks the lumbar, the lower back spine.
Yeah. How long were you fighting for?
I got into training when I was 16, 17.
Yep.
Did it for a couple of years, and then went a bit loose, went off track went a bit loose for a while, and then I ended up coming back into it when I was about 25 and did it for another 4 years. But I always had issues. Like, I had only had one Muay Thai fight, and then COVID hit. So like, I was like so ready just to get into it. I just came back into training. I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to take this hard. I'm going to take over the world. And then had my first fight, and literally within 2 weeks, COVID, bang, everything was shut down.
Then no more fights.
And then finally COVID cleared, and then my coach goes, oh, well, actually, I'm actually going to retire now. So now I'm like, well, shit, I've got no coach.
Yep.
And then me and my mate Rick, we'll both like, well, what are we going to do? We've got nowhere to train. We've got nothing to do. Let's just start our own gym up. So then that's how we got into that.
Yep.
And then I got sick of getting beaten up, and I was like, well, what am I going to do in the future? Where's this going to lead me to? Like, I can't just keep getting kicked and punched. So I ended up seeing I follow quite a few people on Instagram that do this sort of stuff, and I was like, yeah, that looks sick. I could do this sort of stuff. And then I spoke to Greggy, who actually owns this gym that we're at now.
Yep.
And he mentored me a little bit, sort of pointed me in the right direction to go and do my sports science degree. So that's what I'm currently studying now.
Where are you studying that at?
Charles Darwin.
Yep.
Yep. So I just went to re-enroll the other day, and I've just found out I'm onto my major, so I've
Yeah,
nearly
cool.
finished. I think I've got 7 more modules left, and I'm
So
done.
how many years have you been doing that for?
2.5.
Yep.
Nearly 3. Very close to 3.
Yeah.
In 2 months it'll be 3.
Was it something you really enjoyed right from the start? Or was it something that you did for a while and then realised that this is where you want to go? Or was
Something
it like
I've
straight
like,
away?
It's sort of like, honestly, I really didn't know where it was going to get me to or what it was going to lead to. Like, I sort of had an interest in rehab, and then the more I dealt with issues like injuries and stuff, I was like, man, rehab sucks. So then I don't know, the numbers and things really excite me. I like looking at data, and all that data analysis excites
like
me.
before when we were out there doing some stuff and
Yeah.
like you looking at the phone and seeing how high they jumped and stuff, you could see
Yeah.
like this glow in you, like you just got excited about it.
Yeah,
That's
so-
really cool.
And I don't know, it sounds nerdy, but I love looking at like what we were doing in the gym before was like looking at his top peak velocity. So I know, and then even like his average velocity on each rep that he was doing. So I know what sort of range he's working into. So then there's your specific strengths that you're working on, like your speed, strength, etc.
So he's basketballer.
Yep.
And he's looking to go to the States.
He's a Josh Giddey lookalike.
He is a little bit. So what do you do to help him? Like, what's the first thing? Like, he comes in and he says that because he's a sponsored
Yep.
athlete.
Yeah, I've taken him on.
So he comes in and says that he needs help.
Yep.
What's the first thing that you want to do for him?
Well, firstly, I've got to find out what position he's playing. So if he's playing a point guard, he's driving in. He's a strong body to be able to drive to the line. So then I'm like, well, all right, he's a little bit, he's not a big dude. I think he's got 70 kilos to him.
Yep.
Usually we run through a heap of tests. So we've got to put him on the force decks and look at his mid-thigh pull, see what sort of power he can put out through the legs or through the lower body. Then I'll put him onto the plates and have a look at his vertical. Obviously, that's important in basketball. And then even just reactive ability. Like, I love looking at reactive ability in people. Like, pretty much just how quick he can bounce back off the ground from a drop jump, which is big for tendons. Tendons is your bounce. So that's one of the things I look at. Obviously, he needs to bounce a lot. And then another thing I'll go into is repeated jumps, just like how long he can maintain that power. And it's a little bit of a look into whether he's going to have a breakdown soon, so things like that.
Yeah. How does it make you feel when someone like that comes in and then you've helped them out with the program and you see them go off to live their dream? Like, how does that make you actually feel?
That's like fulfilling my dream now.
Yeah.
Like always. I know I'm ADD as anything. So like if I go to do something, like I've just got back into skateboarding and I'm like, man, I'm going to be the next Tony Hawk.
I see, that's how you're like, you're just straight into it.
Yeah, I take everything on like so hardcore. But like, I don't know, even when I was a fighter, well, when I was younger and I was training, I was like, man, like this is for me. Like it really clicked for me and everything was moving smoothly. And then I started partying a bit and started getting into some heavy shit. And I'll go into that side of things because it all sort of blends in anyway, and it gets into where I am with my athletes now and why I pursue it so heavy for everyone.
Yeah.
But like, so even like just 17, you're going out of the town, starts off with a few pills here and there, and then I don't know, the next week maybe you go from 2 pills to 3 pills, et cetera, and then after a few months you're like, oh fuck, let's try something different.
Yeah.
And then you're onto the speed, and then you're onto ketamine, you're onto this, that, now, you're onto all the things under the planet, and then you're like, well, all this stuff's not really doing anything to me now, and then someone offers you a bit of ice, and then you try that, and then you're like, shit, yeah, no, I'll never do that again. And then a month later, you're like, oh, it's back out.
Yeah.
I'll give it another go. It's been a month. I'm not hooked on it, but it's not like that. Like you think, everyone that thinks about it's like, oh, you smoke it once, you're going to be hooked on it. But it's not like that. It gradually sneaks up on you.
Yep.
So you go from month to month, and then next minute you're doing it every 2 weeks, and then next minute you're doing it every weekend, and then next minute you're like, it's Tuesday morning and you're looking to get on, and that's fucked. And then that really overtook my life. So I went from
So how bad did it actually get?
It was pretty hardcore. It was like, it was every single day I was using it, and if I didn't have the money, I was just looking for anything I could do to get it. So I was just like, I was stealing off my family and stuff like that. I was on the dole. I couldn't even hold a job.
Yep.
Like I'd just previously got my carpentry certificate, Cert 3, and then like no one would even give me a job. I went and got a job at a local timber yard in town, and then walked in one morning and they're like, oh, Matty, they're doing drug testing today. So I like turn around and just walk straight back out the door and straight up, just lost my job. because they know straight away. Like
Yeah.
they're not stupid.
So everyone around you kind of knew that's exactly
Everyone
where
knew
you
that I
were,
was
or-
on. Yeah.
Did you know that, or did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think
yeah.
that no one knew?
No. Oh well. When I got for my missus, I didn't think that she knew, but apparently she knew from. Oh, she knew within pretty soon of us being together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like the cops are always on you. Always like I got done drug driving like 6 times, lost my license that many times, got done no rego, no license, all the stupid shit that you wouldn't
Yeah.
do. But you just don't think straight. You don't care. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning. You like got no reg on you. Like shit, man. I need to get on. I'm going for a drive. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Just don't care.
take the risk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next thing you get pulled over, you get taken down to the police station, and then you got to go to court. It's just stuffing around.
Yeah. So how many years was it like that?
It was probably 5 years.
Yep.
In total. It wasn't too hardcore for 5 years. I was probably messed up for about 3 years of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a gradual build up, and then it was 3 years of just stupid. Get kicked out from mum's house, go back to dad's house, get kicked out of dad's house, and then a couple of times I've had to get onto housing, New South Wales housing, and then they organise your house to stay in for the night, things like that.
Yeah.
So like they're not too bad. They actually get you off the streets. If you got nowhere to go, they'll get you off the streets. They'll put you into some little bum shack and they'll get you off the streets.
Yeah. Well, what actually got you out of that?
My lovely wife. Well,
Yeah.
soon to be wife.
Yep.
Yep. Soon to be wife. She saved me. She saved my ass.
So how long were you two together before you were like you
Probably-
started getting off of it?
Oh shit, I'd say 8 months, but I don't know if she just played dumb to the situation and sort of like turned a blind eye to it.
Yep.
And then I don't know. I guess I couldn't control my temper and just smashing things and just stupid idiot.
Yeah.
Like never done any harm to her, but just getting angry at the drop of a hat and all things like that. And then she's obviously sick of it. And then I don't know. I haven't really seen anyone like her before. And she was like, "Well, here's your ultimatum. Like you get off the shit, or I'm out of here." So
Yeah.
got
Did
off
it hit
it.
home straight away? Like, did you think,
Yeah.
I need to do this, or
Well, I
were you
knew-
kind of,
I knew I was at the point of I was getting in too much trouble, and not just off police, but like I just ended up owing people money, and I was just sick of that cycle, just stress. Like shit, man, I owe this person money. I've got to try. Now I'm getting like $500 a fortnight on the dole, and every single cent of that's going back to paying someone, and then
yeah,
and I'm like, man, this sucks. I'm living off like $1 loaf of bread. Like shit, I did that for like 2 years. Like you buy $1 loaf of bread, couple of dollars of hot chips, and there's your dinner. Like $3 and you got dinner. It's not a good way to live, but
yeah. Like before, when you're saying like stealing off a family and stuff, like
Yeah.
not even a thought about it. It's just kind of like,
Not even a
that's
thought
what I
about
have to do to.
not even thought about it. Just was like, well, shit. Here's something that's worth a few $100. Flog it off.
Yeah.
And I thought I was slick. I thought I got away with it all, and then got busted. But I made sure just recently, once I got clean, I made sure I went through and actually hunted down the things that I'd stolen and brought back and
Oh, cool.
actually replaced them.
Yeah.
And that made my dad like a blubbering mess when I when I rocked up to his house one
Yeah.
day with something that I'd actually stolen off him and sold for $300. And I was like, man, like here. And he's like, what's this? I was like, this is what I sold on you. Like what I stole and sold off you. And I just wanted to return it. I just wanted to buy it back and return it. He's like, oh, you didn't have to do that, blah.
Yeah.
But I felt better for doing it. Like it was something that's been eating me up forever. Like,
Yep.
like
Was it
now-
eating you up at the time?
No,
So
no,
when
at-
you were doing,
at the
or
time, I
just
didn't really
like
give a
didn't
fuck.
even think?
No, didn't really give a shit at the time. But yeah, so I always try to redo my wrongs or
Yep.
rewrite my wrongs, whatever you say.
So when you kind of got told it's get off it or I'm gone,
Yep.
how did you get off of it?
You gotta get rid of your phone. You gotta get rid of your phone number. You gotta get rid of your Facebook, your Instagram. You just gotta pretty much become a hermit crab and just lock yourself away.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
it.
all the people you were surrounded with, they
you
were
gotta-
all like
yeah.
part of it too.
Yeah, because your mates, well, the people you're hanging out with is just, you only associate because you all do it together, and you're
Yep.
like, well, let's stick together. We're all doing it together.
Yeah.
So you just got to get rid of that circle. Once that circle's gone, you get off the stuff. It's hard, and then you just pray and hope that they get off the stuff as well too, because some of them you get good bonds with, and like I know, like I don't really look down on anyone because I've been that person
Yep.
that people look down on. So I just pray and hope that they all get away from the stuff as well at some point in their life.
Have you had friends that have done the same thing, got off of it? And
Yeah, quite a few people actually lately have been getting away from it. It's been good to see. I bump into them downtown, and then there's also been quite a few people that like you hear of so and so pass away or so and so took their life, and it's pretty crazy. Yeah, or you run into it's mental. I'm pretty lucky, but then the other thing I really wanted, like I was getting on with life, and the one thing I really wanted in my life was a son. Yep. And my missus was like, well, you've always spoken about having a son. That's one of the things you always wanted. And she was like, well, if you stay off it for this amount of time, we'll try for one. So that was another driving factor for me. Yeah. And then straight away went and saw an old boss of mine, and he put me on, and I was back into a working cycle again. So that you just break that habit. And then one of the really fun things that's crazy actually is like you get to 21 days and you're like, oh shit, I'm 21 days clean. I'll see if I can get to 50. Yep. And you get to 50 and like it's starting to become a bit of a game.
You kind of like gamify it a little bit. Yeah, that's cool.
And you get to 100 and you're like, oh man. And then all of a sudden it becomes like a blur. You don't even know what number you're up to. Yep. Just like, I don't even know. Like I think it's like 7.5 years now. I'll just go off my son's age and then add 9 months on for him and then things like that. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's like 7.5 years now.
So was it like that 6. First 21 days? Was that kind of the hardest of the lot? And then easy after that? Or
just sleep like crazy. Yeah. Because obviously you're not sleeping when you're on it. You stay up for a couple of days straight and then, it's just... Yeah. Yeah, and then there was no looking back. And then that's when it's actually funny because when I was on the gear, I was always watching Muay Thai fights, flat out, mate, watching Muay Thai. It's always been a thing for me. And always talking to my partner about how, one day I'm going to own my own gym, blah, blah, blah. Talking about one day I'm going to go to Thailand and train, talking about all that stuff to her. And I don't even remember all this, to be honest with you. Like all those years of my life's a blur, to be honest with you. And she'll bring it up in conversation. When I started up the Muay Thai gym, she brought that up in conversation. She's like, you do realise that you've been talking about this like always since we've been together. You've been talking about opening up your own gym, and going and fighting, and going to Thailand and training and this, that, and the other. So it's pretty cool that that's always been on my mind, and then it ended up happening. But like honestly, I don't remember. Yeah, how did it feel when you did open? Did you think Did you think fighting was going to be your thing? Did you think you were going to go pro? Always. Yeah, always. But like, that's probably why that's why my business. I'm so intense for my business now is because, like, I got back into fighting when I was 25, and I'm like, well, shit, my time's done. Like, like I went back and had my fight, and then COVID kicked off, and then it was like done for a year and a half or whatever it was. There was like no fights allowed for ages, like because obviously you got 1,000 people at your fight event coming and watching your fight. Yep. So it was like it was done for a year and a half. And then it's kind of longer than that too, because it's kind of no one wanted to come back into it, and it was hard to get it started again. And but then so obviously by then I'm 27. I'm like, man, like honestly, I'm not to big note myself, but I honestly think I could have taken it pretty far. Like it was just one of the things that actually really clicked for me. Yep. And nothing else has really clicked that well for me. And I think I could have taken it pretty far. Like. And that's not just to be like I don't want to sound like an idiot and talk myself up, but that's the thing. And I really was down on myself and hating on myself because I just wasted all that, like what is it, like 8 years of just partying, just wasted. And I could have actually made something big of myself. Well, that's what we were talking about that first time that I was in here, and you were saying how you thought that you'd kind of wasted all that time, and you wanted to show these young people that you're actually helping now. Yeah, that like if they put in that effort and they don't go and do that kind of stuff, that they actually follow their dream and they can get where they are. Yeah, and I think that's pretty cool. And when we were talking, I feel like you haven't wasted your life. Yeah, because watching you in there with those kids, and seeing the way that they interact with you and like they listen to everything that you say, but not in a boss kind of way, like you're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's more of you're their friend. Yeah. And it's really cool. I don't think other trainers, other people like that have that connection like you do. So I don't see it as a waste. I kind of see it as you're using that time to help them. Yeah. Which I think is pretty cool. Well, that's definitely what sort of changed my attitude about about the business.
Yep.
Because it like sort of started off just as, well, this is going to be my new job now. I'm going to just coach this. And I look up to all the people that are like really fancy about the way they talk. And like you just said, like actual like coaches, not like, it was, and that's how I was sort of portraying myself at the start. And then the more people would come in and you see all these amazing athletes come in and they've got all this opportunity and some of them just don't believe themselves. And then that's when I was like, man, I need to start like, I don't know, go and support and just like trying to push these kids as much as possible, go and support them and just like get in their heads. And like psychology is massive and you learn that as a fighter. Psychology is huge. So I've been trying to bring psychology a bit more into it and just make people believe that like it can happen. Anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. And then I think that's when my business really started to kick off, was because I was like, I spend nearly every weekend just going and watching, whether I'm watching the netball, AFL, soccer, like you name it. I just spent all weekend at touch footy watching like 20 odd kids play touch footy.
Yeah, like that was cool. Like I was sitting at home and scrolling through Instagram and just kept seeing you there. You didn't need to be there.
No.
But you wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And the reaction that they were giving you back was really cool.
Yeah. And I don't know, that drives me even more. But knowing that they want me to come down and watch is awesome. Like I don't want to be that guy who's just poking around like a creep, just watching all the time. But they actually want me there. So I'm like, oh, that's sick. So I was like, if they want me there, I'm going to go and support them. Like I'm going to have their back 24/7 if they need it. If they need me, I'm there.
Yep. Another thing that I like about you is that we were filming the video for Lawrence and you started swearing. And I'm like, do you care that people hear you swearing? And you're like, no, that's me. That's exactly who I am in the gym, outside of the gym. And I like that you can be you too. That you're not turning this like fake thing on for people, and like parents can come in and see that's exactly who you are. And know that their kids are kind of safe with you. Which is cool.
I was like, and I always said this to my partner. She's always been like, oh, maybe you shouldn't speak like that. I'm like, oh, fuck it. Even like my mum's always into me, you gotta stop swearing, that's not professional. I was like, but like I've always spent my life doing things I don't like doing, like for work, and now I'm like, fuck, this is my business. I'm gonna do my business how I want to do my business. I'm gonna have a laugh. I'm not gonna be like even when I'm coaching the kids and I'm trying to explain things to them, I'm not trying to be like, oh, you need to go into a lateral an external rotation into this muscle group, like shit that they're not even gonna understand. Just fucking like if I want someone to go into a half bend, I'm going to be like, bend over like you're taking a shit. Like, so I'm just going to use my own words. And I find that they like take on to that a lot better.
Yeah, they kind of connect to it.
Yeah. As if I'm like, oh, we need to do the velocity of this in this direction. Like no one understands the shit you're talking about. Like
smart
I understand
older man that's like,
And you see that a lot on Instagram. Like it sounds cool. It sounds scientific, sounds cool, but fuck, no one understands what you're on about.
Yeah, you do.
I do, yeah.
And
but
they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's the point?
Yeah. So I just do my business how I want to do it. And I don't know, I think it works well for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many people you got coming now?
I could not tell you. I should probably know that, but last time I checked, I had 123 bookings every week, and that's 7 days a week.
Yep.
And I've just got a little girl, not a little girl, she's 15. I've got a 15-year-old now helping me. So she was one of my first clients. She's been with me for a long time. The business is 2 years old, so she's probably been with me for damn close to 2 years.
Yep.
And she's just helping out. She's just like taking on some of the juniors and helping me coach them and gets some more people in, because every night I'll go home and have a few messages from people, and I hate saying no to people. I've always, even as a tradie, like I've always been told off my old man, like if you reject work, that's work you'll never get again.
Yep.
So I'm like, shit, man, I can't reject work. I don't want to share with anyone.
Yeah.
And I want to help as many people as possible. So like trying to find ways is insane.
Well,
I don't want things to be like I like being personal with things. So I don't want it to get too big to the point where I can't be personal with my clients.
Yeah, where you have to employ like 5 other people to do stuff. It's not you.
Yeah. So that's hard.
Well, on that then, where do you want it to go?
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I don't know. Like I probably should. Like it's going really well, and I probably should have a business plan set for it. But it's just I'm just riding the wave.
Yeah.
What happens, happens. Like if it die in the ass in 6 months, and so be it. Like yeah. Honestly, I don't have any like becoming rich and like famous is not not my thing. It's not. I don't
Yep.
really give a fuck, to be honest. I'm happy. Like I was living on the dole, $520 every fortnight. Like I'm making money now. And I'm happy about that.
Yep.
So I don't say I don't care if I don't get, like if I don't become this world-renowned like business. I'd rather become a world-renowned coach rather than a world-renowned business. So like I don't care if my business is massive and making billions of dollars. I'd rather be known for, I don't know, maybe I discovered like the body needs to move in some particular angle. It's, I don't know, something scientific and nerdy as shit that everyone remembers you for. Like one of my like my speed coach, Roger Fabry. He's a loose unit, but he's super known for like turning people quicker. Like everyone knows him for that. Everyone knows him for being a loony too. He's pretty funny guy. But even like Yuri Verkhoshansky is an old guy. I read all of his books all the time, and he I don't know if he invented, but I don't know if you could say that, but he created like the shock method, which is going back into that tenon bounce and things like that. So everyone knows him as like the king of plyometrics in a way, and that's what I want to have over my head, is something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, going back to fighting then. So when you were fighting, did you want to be famous, or was it chasing something that you kind of?
I don't know. Fame's cool, but I just wanted a freaking belt. That's what I was like. I was like, man, I just want a belt. Like, and then I used to just go and watch all the state fights and the nationals. Like, fuck, man, I could fucking beat this guy. Like, I could be there now.
Yep.
Like, but yeah, I don't know.
Do you miss it?
Hey,
do you miss it?
Yeah. When I see people coming up in the club, like in the going off and having their fights, and I see them getting better and better, and I'm like, man, like I wish I was still there training and just improving like they are. Like, but everyone plateaus out at some point. But it's just cool to see.
Do you still train at it, or do you? You just kind of giving it up, or?
No, I still train. Yep. So I'll still go out in the shed and just hit the bag and work on my kicks, and then one day someone will ask me to come and spar one day, and I don't want to go back and have all the youngins beat the shit out of me. So I've got to keep it.
Do you think there's one more fight in you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 100%.
Do it? I'll get to like 40 and I'll have a midlife crisis, and I'll go and fight. Yeah, 100% I will. Yeah. But like my last fight I was getting ready for, actually I had I've never been dropped in my life, and then my last fight I was getting ready for in sparring, one of my partners got me on the, like, right in the back of the head. Like, no, sorry, not right in the back of the head, right in the back of the ear, and caught me out of surprise and dropped me to my knee, and then I got a little bit dizzy, and I was like, oh shit, like that's never happened before. And then coach didn't really think too much of it, because I don't know, it's never really happened. And I sort of just played it off as a tough guy. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then we did like maybe another 5 rounds on top of that, just constant back to back. I was just punching the shit out of each other. And then next day woke up and I've got these 2 bruises behind both sides of the ears at the back of the skull. And I've got this ringing in the ears. And every time I get up to do something, I forget what I'm doing. And I'm like, shit, the fuck was I about to get up and do? Like, and it was scaring the shit out of me. So I rang the doctors, and they're like, we need to call you an ambulance right now and take you straight to hospital. Because they asked me, have you got swelling or bruising behind the back of the ears? I was like, yeah, actually I do, on both sides. And they're like, yeah, we're calling an ambulance right now. So when he got checked out, luckily there wasn't any swelling or anything on the brain, but I think it was just a nasty concussion. It stuck around for about a week of me just forgetting, like flat out forgetting everything.
So just like random stuff, or just like everything? Like
I'd get up to go and get something. I don't know whether it was getting my laptop, to go and do something on my laptop, and I'd stand up and be like, shit, what am I standing up for again? And like within a split second, just forget what I was standing up for.
That's scary.
And all I could think about was my son. Like, shit, I'm going to be a veggie, and my son's going to have no dad to play with, no nothing. And he's going to have to look after me. I was like, man, that's fucked, man.
So did that have a big thing on why you don't do it anymore?
Yeah, that was pretty much why I stopped. As well as, like, that's why I stopped fighting, not coaching, but that's why I stopped fighting. And I was like, yeah, well, if honestly, if my son wasn't around and it was just me and my missus, it wouldn't have stopped me. I'd still be going. Yeah,
kids are kind of crazy,
Yeah. Even though he's a pain in the butt. No, he's a good kid.
So is he into all this kind of stuff? Training and...
honestly, whatever I do, he loves.
Yeah.
So he sees
That's
me
cool.
and he's like, he's in the gym here training. He's at the track running.
Yep.
He's got a skateboard. He's got his own Instagram page, Skating8. Check him out. He's absolute freak on the skateboard actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does boxing here and there. I try not to push it too hard. Like whatever he wants to do, I just let him do.
Yep.
So if he goes, hey Dad, can we do some boxing? Then we'll go out the shed and we'll just do some boxing. But I try not to make it a chore for him. Otherwise he'll hate it. 'Cause he's only 6.
Yep.
And like he's been around it since he was born. He's been in the gym, hitting bags and whatnot. So
Yeah, cool.
it'll always be there for him.
Yep.
He'll always come back to it. I reckon one day he'll hook into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him if he wanted to fight?
Yeah, fine. My
You good?
my wife's not happy about it. I don't think she'll let it, but
Yeah.
that's fine. Like, yeah, if he wants to do it, then so be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'll be there ready for the towel to chuck the towel in if need be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I've talked to a couple of people that are around you.
Yeah.
Like you seem to have a really good core group of people. Tell me a little bit more about that. Like how important it is to have good people around you to support you when you're doing stuff like this.
It's so important. Like even just even if I get an offer or something, I know working with some football club or something like that, and I'm just unsure whether I should take the opportunity. And like even just coming and seeing Greggy and asking him questions, and he's like, "Well, what if you think about this?" And then if you think about this, and he'll just lay out a few options for me because sometimes you get caught up with flashing lights, and you're like, "Oh, that's pretty lights," and
Yeah.
you
So
jump to
Greg's the
conclusions.
owner of
Yeah,
Bunker.
yeah, Greg's the owner of Bunker, and he's always been there for me when I've got the questions.
Yep.
And he's always got, I wouldn't say he's got the answers, but he'll like lay out like multiple answers on the table, and then he'll make you think about all these answers and all these different directions that the answer could go to. And so I don't know, I think it's pretty cool the way he does that stuff. So I really respect him for that.
Yep.
He's someone I look up to a lot. And obviously my wife is always pushing me to do better. She's like, she knows I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
Like if I put my mind to it, fuck, I'm going to do it. And she knows that.
Yep.
And she says that all the time. She's like, fuck, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. If you want to do it, you're going to do it.
Yep.
So I don't know, I'll always come to her and I'll be like, oh, I don't know if I should do this or should do this. She's like, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be you.
Yeah.
Like you've gotten off the drugs, you've done this. Now you got this business going from like nothing.
Yep.
So yeah.
How long you been together?
Shit. I don't know, that's a hard question.
We'll cut that bit out so you don't get in trouble.
Man, 8 years? I'm going to say 8 years.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to say 8 years.
Yeah.
But we've been engaged for like 2.
Yep.
Oh shit, we've probably been engaged for longer. I don't know. I just keep putting it off. Like, everyone keeps asking. I keep saying, oh, when she plays the cards right, I'll marry her.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So she's got to be pretty happy now. Yeah. Like seeing where you were and kind of
Yeah.
how happy
Definitely.
you are doing this kind of stuff.
Definitely. She just texted me before actually, and she's like, oh, have fun doing your podcast. I'm so proud of you. Blah, blah, blah. So that's awesome to see that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Anyone else around that you look up to or have helped you out?
My running coach is always there for me on that side of things, for the speed side of things. Like as a coach mentor, Dad's always around, Mum's always around, obviously, but like honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
How were your parents?
My pop's always been a big influence, actually.
Yeah.
Like I'm covered in tattoos now, and I've always been scared to get tattoos because of him, because he's like old school.
Yep.
And now it's like, fuck it. But yeah, he's 90. He's 90.
Yep.
He's still going strong. He's like going and speaking to Buddha. Like if I'm unsure about something, like we were thinking about moving to Cronulla not that long ago, just before my business boomed actually.
Yep.
And I went and seen him, and it's just like, you go and ask Buddha the questions. He's like Buddha. He's got all these wise answers for you. And so he's the man to go and see if I'm really unsure about something. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because this is going really good.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's keep going on about the kids, I guess. I don't know. The kids are everything.
Yeah, tell me more about who you've got out there. Like, who you're training.
Oh.
Like, how proud they make you.
Oh, like every single one of them make me proud. Like even if they're not like I'm not going to say that I only train kids that are up and coming. Like I've also got some 7, 8-year-old kids that are just not born with athleticism at all.
Yeah.
And it's just good to see them go, I don't know, maybe one day they've learned how to bounce off a single hop, and it's like, fuck, that's awesome, man. Like, like it doesn't seem like a big achievement compared to like some of the kids that I've got that are going playing all these crazy ass sports, going to America and whatnot. And then you've got this kid that's just learned how to single leg hop and catch his balance and balance on that single leg. But like it nearly brings tears to me. Like, even last year I've had this girl that's training with me, Katani. She's been with me for so long. And she was sprinting with me, and she went from being not the greatest runner to going to state. And I remember sitting at home watching her on TV running at state, and then I think she ran second. I can't remember what she ran. And I actually broke into tears crying because I was just backing her home so hard. Like I was so happy for her. We put that much work in together, and just to see her, she was so down on herself leading up to it. She didn't think she was going to get it. And then seeing her do that, just broke down crying. Even like Cleo, one of the girls I sponsored, we went to Melbourne not that long ago for AFL draft night. And then just seeing, like, I've had to be an arsehole to her and push her and to go and she had the AFL draft, so I've had to push her and be that mean guy, to be like, no, you can't go hang out with your friends tonight. You need to get in the gym. You need to train. You need to do this. And like, it sucks being that mean guy, but she needed it. And then seeing her get drafted, and I just bawled like a little baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool though. Like to be able to like have a connection with someone.
Yeah.
Just like that and see them grow.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty cool.
It's awesome. So good.
Oh, cool. So if people wanted to actually get you to train them or even just kind of follow what you're doing, where can they go? Yeah,
Instagram. Instagram's where all my work comes from is Instagram.
Yep.
And all my posts go through Instagram. So that's Advanced Sports Performance. So check it out.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you, because you really did motivate me to actually get this thing going. And it wouldn't have happened. And now that I've done one, I kind of want to keep going. So I think we're going to have to come back in like a year's time and chat to you again and kind of see where this has progressed.
Yeah, cool. It's exciting.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good. Cheers, mate.
Thanks.